Hello and welcome to another edition of the ECPPS Podcast, where we give you updates regarding Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools. I'm Clay Mercer, and with me today is Superintendent Dr. Keith Parker. Dr. Parker, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me again, Clay. Very excited to be here.
March Madness is what it's all about right now, and I know you love your basketball. So first, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite basketball team? Some of the listeners may not know that. And who are you going for, and who do you think is going to win this championship?
Well, you know, it's a hard thing to say right now, and it's, you know, for the Carolina fans out there, you know, we weep. But I am a Tar Heel, so I pull for UNC in March Madness. But that carries very little weight this year, so you know that's the team I pull for. And you know, we've just come through our March Madness here with our elementary basketball, and I know that's something we're going to talk about. You know, on the show today. So excited to do that. So it's March Madness.
It really is, and even through the madness, ECPPS had another board meeting back on March 23rd, and there were several recognitions that I want to highlight, and one of the recognitions was about the security team that makes sure that everyone is safe during events, whether they're athletic or whether they're taking place in the school system. It really takes a team to make it happen, and you took a little bit of time to highlight the security team.
Yeah, you're so right about that, and I just want to thank all of our staff that come together at our athletic events, and also want to thank our local law enforcement partners for the work that they do. And specifically, you know, for our high school basketball and football games in particular, oftentimes they are the largest public gathering in Elizabeth City and Pasquotank County. You know, we bring thousands of spectators together for those events. And so it really does take a coordinated effort for resources to make sure that those events are facilitated in a safe way. And so oftentimes on a Friday night for football, and then could be weeknights and weekend for basketball, we are bringing together a collection of people to make sure those events are orchestrated. And part of that is a coordination between our school staff and local law enforcement partners. So to all of them, just want to say thank you. And we were able to recognize Mr. Joe Lewis and Mr. Don Mercer on our board meeting this week because they acted just expeditiously to address a security concern at a January basketball game in the tournament playoff game at Northeastern, and you know, we are just thankful for the work they did. One, to both facilitate and screen our weapons detection systems. In this particular incident, someone had on their person a prohibited item, and so when that the system immediately identified that at the game, and Mr. Lewis immediately moved then to perform an additional search, recognizing then there was a prohibited item, responded immediately in coordination with our law enforcement partners, and within seconds, single digit seconds, our law enforcement partners had arrested the individual and taken them out of the complex. And so in this particular instance, nobody was in immediate danger, but the responsiveness of our staff and then law enforcement ensured that it was an event that didn't lead to anyone's safety. So I want to thank them, huge thank you for all that our staff and partners do to keep us safe.
You were talking a little bit about the security and the top-notch technology that we're using now at these events and how important it is. Could you speak a little bit more about that technology piece and what it does? Because I've been able to look at the tablet, and I see when people walk through, that tablet picks up pretty much everything. It's a very sensitive piece of technology, but it's so vital to keep everyone safe.
Yeah, it is. And so we've been able to install weapons detection systems at all of our middle and high schools, and we now use them at our high school football and basketball games. And so what they do is it's a combination of metal detection, but also AI is used along with cameras that are built into the devices and additional wavelength measurements that allow the systems to detect weapons of mass destruction, handguns, other things that would create a mass casualty event, God forbid. And so we have the iPad, and so every time that somebody comes through it, if the system believes there is a prohibitive item on somebody's person, then it will show on the screen and identify the portion of the person's body where the item is suspected to be. So it may put in someone's pocket, it may put a red square around someone's pocket, and that would let the person manning the machine know, hey, we need to search somebody's pocket or their shoe. And so that's a much higher level of sensitivity than a metal detector, which a metal detector may go off and you may have a watch on. Well, the metal detector doesn't tell you anything about somebody's person or where on their body the item may be. So it's difficult to perform an additional search with a metal detector because it's just not specific. But these weapons detection systems are specific, and they allow us then to do specific searches on somebody's person or their bag to let us have a higher level of sensitivity. So those are at place now, and we did switch out our metal detectors and replace them with weapons detection systems in our football season last fall, and that was on the heels of the unfortunate event at Tarboro High School where someone did discharge a firearm and shot someone at that game. And so that was a moment where we took a deep reflection on our security protocols and actually switched out and added weapons detection mid-season. And since that, we've used that at football and basketball games. And I will say, I'm thankful we did that, because the event that happened in January that I referenced with Mr. Mercer and Mr. Lewis, that additional level of sensitivity and detection allowed Mr. Mercer to be able to know where to perform that additional search on the person that went through. And I'm not saying that wouldn't have happened with a metal detector, but it would have been harder for Mr. Mercer to know exactly where to search if a person had gone through with that. So I want the public to know that these weapons detection systems provide a much increased level of detection and therefore a higher level of security for any spectator that comes to our events.
Yeah, it's got to make you feel good. We want the community and everyone to be safe when they come out to these events, and this helps out with that. So wonderful to hear this. It's the ECPPS Podcast, and one of the highlights of every board meeting are the videos that are presented that shows the great work that's being done in the schools within the district. Let's take a look at a couple of the videos that were presented back on March 23rd. Let's start off with a presentation of what's happening at River Road Middle School.
Here at River Road, we are really focusing on science this year. Science because it's one of those hands-on classes. Middle school students need to get up, they need to move, they need to touch, they need to see, they need to do. So we have really given our science teachers the charge to make that a priority in their classrooms.
Today, the students are working on their circuits. I've been teaching them what electrical circuits are and how they work.
Circuits are important because you have to learn about electricity. So like what we're doing today teaches us what's in electricity and all that, what has electricity. Science is so fun because we get to do all this stuff. Circuit, I'm doing the iPhone 16.
They're going to draw the circuit, then put the device around the circuit in a transparent way. And then they have to label it, color it, they're done. My hope is that the students remember something I've taught and can use it later on in the future to help them better themselves.
I really like science because, you get to do a lot of things hands-on. We have been learning about forces and motion for some time now, and we're really getting the hang of it.
I really like science, especially doing it in 7th grade because it's so hands-on. I feel like a majority of kids learn by doing stuff and touching stuff, and they don't want to sit in a classroom all day and, constantly take notes or look at their computer.
Today we had a pretty fun activity outside. We was testing like how forces act on motion and like if you're in motion, force pulling you back, will it make you slower or faster?
Today we did forces in motion. The students were running at a steady pace, just straight ahead for a certain amount of meters. We did a few trials with that. Then the next trial we did it with a force holding them back, which was another student. It was funny. They enjoyed it. It also teaches them how forces can oppose an object in motion. And of course the student was the object. So they did really like that. Like I said, they just like being hands-on. They like doing things.
Up next, a presentation from Northeastern High School.
Hello, my name is Ebony Stallings, and I am interim principal of the Northeastern High School, home of the Mighty Eagles. Today, we're going to take you guys on a little trip with us where you'll learn about the new innovative programs we have to offer.
So we have the Spark Lab up and running for the second semester. Spark Lab is a innovation hub. They learn about high-tech careers. They are building websites. They learn about esports, conductive materials, how to code. The students enjoy it because it's self-paced. They learn as they go, and it's hands-on. So they will literally build robots. They're building robotic arms, robotic cars, learning about nutrition and sports medicine. Everything's going digital. So all the high-tech careers and robotics is the new wave, and that's where our future is headed.
We're bringing aviation to Northeastern High School. Currently, we have students that are pursuing two pathways to become a pilot or an aviation mechanic through either ECSU or COA. This year is ninth graders in the first cohort. They're learning principles of engineering through the Project Lead the Way pathway, and we're introducing aviation and STEM activities to them throughout this year. This is a great opportunity for the students. Students are learning how to use VEX robotics, learn how to program using Python. They were able to create gliders, study airfoil designs. They also were introduced to the flight simulator, learning how to fly a Cessna plane.
Here at Northeastern High School is where we house the Teacher Cadet Program for Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools. We're up to 12 students, which we had 3 last year. Some have already accepted the Teaching Fellow Scholarship, and most are planning to pursue a career in education.
Community schools is a program that helps kids' well-being. Everybody has different circumstances when they come to school. We want to provide for the whole child, not just in school, at home, for parents, for the community. Community schools is a partnership with ECU. Parents come in here and they pick out what they like, based on their needs, and we give it to them free. We have food here, canned foods, we have shoes, pocketbooks, we have games, hygiene items, we have clothing. This is for the community, not just for our kids. That's why we're a community school, and that's what we're all about here at Northeastern High School, helping our community.
My name is Alandis Williams. I'm the head custodian here at Northeastern High School. We love to just come to work and get the school clean. The school is over 50 years old, but we try to make it as clean as possible, and we're gonna do our best to make it right for the kids here at Northeastern. We have pride in what we do, and we make sure that the kids have pride of coming to a clean school. It's Eagle Pride.
Thank you for stopping by at Northeastern High School, where you've learned about these great innovative programs that we have to offer.
It's the ECPPS Podcast. Clay Mercer here with Superintendent Dr. Keith Parker. And Superintendent Parker, we've got a special guest, and this lady here is well known throughout the district, but for our listeners, might be their first time getting to know her. So let's go ahead and introduce her to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So really excited that Dr. Katina Waples is joining us. Dr. Waples has previously served as a principal at Sheep Harney Elementary School and then moved into district leadership, and currently serves as our K-12 curriculum director. So I will let you talk a little bit about some of the big things you're up to right now, Katina, and I'd imagine some of the guests are curious to know, what does a K-12 curriculum director do?
That is a very big question, so thank you for that. So as a K-12 curriculum director, what I do is I oversee all of the curriculums, all of the things that our students are learning from kindergarten all the way through 12th, just making sure that our instruction stays rigorous, that our teachers get the support they need to be able to provide a great education for our kids, and at the end of the day, that when they leave us in high school, they're prepared for life. Yeah. So we have a team of people that work with me, and we just work every day very hard to get that done. And it's a lot packed into that.
I was getting ready to say, what's a typical day for you? When you wake up in the morning, about 6, 7 in the morning, I don't know what time, but and then it goes all day long.
All
tell
day,
us what it's like.
right, until late until the evening. It is very busy. We visit schools. We're in classrooms, in and out of schools. We partner with our principals because we want to make sure that our first level support is supporting our principals. We want to make sure that they are the CEOs of their building.
Sure.
But we want to make sure that we facilitate and give them everything they need to be successful. They have a lot going on, just dealing with getting our students in the door, getting them fed, all the things. So we want to make sure from the curriculum side of things, they don't have to want for anything. Yeah. So if we have, for example, a state law for cursive writing. So every student in 3rd through 5th needs to know cursive writing. So we work directly with principals to make sure they have the resources needed so our kids can learn cursive writing.
Wow.
It's like multiplication, biology, chemistry, you name it. Yeah. Everything under the sun as far as curriculum, we helicopter in, we help, we provide support, and we just want to make sure that our kids and our staff are successful.
One of the things I love is your energy, and I always love people when they come in. You can tell they love what they do day in and day out. Tell us a little bit about your history, your beginnings, and kind of where you're from, and what led you to being an educator.
Yes, sir. So I was born and raised upstate New York. I spent the majority of my life there. I have family. I've been lucky enough to have such a huge extended family. So I have family right here in the Hampton Roads, North Carolina area. Decided to move here about 15 years ago, having taught in Virginia, New York, and now North Carolina. I love it here. I always tell people, if you've never been anywhere, you have no idea the gem that's in Eastern North Carolina. Yeah. It is an amazing place to live, work, and raise a family. Mm-hmm. Love it here. Being a principal at Sheep Harney for 9 years has just made me completely fall in love with this community even more. And this will be my forever home, for sure. I'm invested in this community. I'm invested in our kids. And I want to definitely, at the end of the day, leave this world better than I found it, specifically with our kids. I want our children to have an opportunity to be anything and everything they want to be.
Yeah.
No child should want to leave us and didn't have an opportunity to get what they needed. Mm-hmm. So that's our number one goal.
Yeah. Over 20 years of experience in education.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your journey in education.
I have served everything from a classroom teacher, AIG facilitator, special ed director, you name it, assistant principal, anything and everything I could do within a building. I was always raising my hand like, okay, I'll take the challenge on. This challenge is much like that. It's just I have very strategically throughout the years just taken on different opportunities. Mm-hmm. And now I understand that it has prepared me for this work. Yeah. And I love it. I love what we do.
Back in 2023, you received the honor of ECPPS Principal of the Year while serving at Sheep Harney Elementary. Special moment for you. And again, you talked about how that period of time as a principal, probably the best time professionally of your life.
Yes.
Some of your special memories while you were principal there at Sheep Harney Elementary.
I normally don't toot my own horn, but I will say that I was lucky enough to be Principal of the Year twice. So 2018 and 2023. And I will say that that was not the work of just me. That was just having a school team, a district team, a community that embraced an opportunity for that particular school to maximize their potential. And we did it. And it truly was a team. I could have never have done that by myself. Mm-hmm. But the work that we did was just unspeakable. When I first went to Sheep Harney, it was at that time, and people in the community have told me this, that it was the lowest performing school in the district, and it was known to be that, had low expectations. It was just a tough place. It was tough for staff, tough place for parents to leave their kids, and we changed that image because to me, our kids deserve to have the best childhood possible, and they absolutely deserve the best education that's out there. So that's what our team worked to do each and every day. Just one bite every day to make things better for our kids.
Yeah. the enthusiasm, the optimism. You say you grew up in upstate New York. Growing up, what were some of the experiences that you had that led you to become the leader that you obviously I see in front of me right now?
Yes. So one of the things that I'm proud of is my grandmother. She had 8 children. So I have several cousins. I was the first of her grandchildren to graduate from college.
Oh, wow.
So that to me, and I always loved being in school. When I was younger, my baby dolls, my younger siblings, they were my students. I don't know if they enjoyed that, but they were. They were my students. So I graduated, went to college. And after that, several of my cousins, my siblings, they have followed suit. I was the first one in my family to get my doctorates, also my master's. So, and to watch my family just do the same. And now it's the norm. So you graduate in our family, you're expected to go to college, to take on a trade, to do things. And I'm just blessed and honored and humbled that I had the opportunity to kind of start that, imagine the possibilities trend in our family.
Yeah. The ECPPS Podcast. Me and Dr. Parker were just previously talking about March Madness, and during the recent board meeting, you had the chance to recognize P.W. Moore's girls and boys basketball teams for what they accomplished on the basketball court, and especially the cheerleaders too. I think a lot of people, they don't know cheerleading is a sport. People, I don't know why people get that confused. Cheerleading is also a sport, and it was just great to recognize them. It's the second year of elementary basketball here in the district, but that's just a special recognition, and I'm so glad that we were able to highlight them at the board meeting.
Absolutely. The great thing is P.W. Moore, the boys and the girls, won. We have games throughout the season. Their season starts in January. They finish up with our own March Madness, and they won within the season. They also took March Madness. The cheerleaders, they have an opportunity tomorrow. They're going to compete in a local cheerleading competition. So that's awesome that we're having an elementary cheerleading competition as well. That's going to be at Northeastern High School. I believe it starts at 1 tomorrow. A great opportunity for elementary kids. And I'm just so thrilled that in our district, not only are our kids playing basketball, we have a soccer league that we have in the fall, the same format where the schools play each other, and then they have a tournament. We come out on a Friday night. It's like the Friday right before Halloween, and they go at it. We have tournament style, and we have a winner. We were so lucky this year that Weeksville, they had a co-ed team. They won, and all of our soccer teams are co-ed. After basketball season, now we're getting ready for County Field Day, which will be May 15th. So all of our kids, they're practicing, they're throwing, they're running, they're jumping, all the things, because we're going to go compete the Friday before our EOG start, our end of grade test. So we'll have that on May 15th at Northeastern High School. I would really encourage the community, come out. It is so much fun watching our kids compete. It truly is like Olympic style. These kids are excited. They are bringing out all the tricks and the trades to try to win. And I jokingly say to all the schools and the principals, P.W. Moore, Weeksville, you guys better be careful because the other schools are coming for you at County Field Day. So let the competition begin with that. But it's great because we're one of the only schools that we're aware of, school districts that offer this level of sports for our elementary students. And it really does bring a wonderful sense of pride, sportsmanship, teamwork, all of the great things that we want for our kids. And now they don't have to wait till they get to middle school. They can do it in elementary school. And we start at third grade. So this is really an opportunity for any child that wants to play to go out. And they get selected for the team, and they play, and they love it. They love it. They get sad when the season's over.
Yeah, I get that.
So, it's really a great thing. And I just commend Dr. Parker for just having the vision a couple years ago. And he's like, okay, let's think about this. Why not? So we're like, okay. And here it is. We're getting it done.
Yes, indeed. It was actually one of the special moments of my time. I used to always look forward to field day when I was in elementary school. So it's going to be a special time out there. I can't wait to be a part of that. Also, send a lot of love to all of the participants and volunteers for the 2026 Pasquotank-Camden County Spring Games, the Special Olympics that'll be taking place on March 31st. These are really special events, and I'm so happy that we can highlight those here on today's show. At the board meeting, you also talked about the Go Global team, and I think our listeners may be hearing about this for the first time, the 2026 Go Global leaders that will participate. Talk a little bit about the leaders and what they are about to experience a little bit later this year.
So, I'm going to have Dr. Parker give us some of the background on it, but I'll just jump right to the teachers that I'm just excited. So we have last year we had one teacher, Tiffany Bogues. She teaches at J.C. Sawyer, second grade teacher, did a fabulous job. She interviewed and went to the Netherlands last year.
Oh, wow.
So she was our first cohort, so to speak. She went to the Netherlands, fully embraced the culture with other teachers throughout the state, the country, in the world, went and learned about the Netherlands. This year, we're so excited that we have 4 teachers and a principal that's going to Botswana, Zambia for 11 days this summer.
Wow.
And they'll be doing the same over there. And it is going to be just an amazing experience. And what I say to people is this wasn't something that they just decided they had to do. They wanted to do. They had to interview. They had to complete a portfolio. The interview process was very intense, and then they were selected. So they'll be leaving mid-June, going for the 11 days and coming back. So it's not, and other thing I say is it's not an expense-paid vacation where you're just going to go live your life. They already know, like, if you're going, we're going to treat you right, right? But you're going to do some great things to bring it back to our community. Right now, we're a global community. These teachers are going to go over, and again, they're going to embrace themselves in all the culture, the language, the food, the arts, just everything, the demographics, everything they can learn. We want them to talk to us about behaviors and parenting and everything that you can think of, and they're going to bring that back, and they're going to become our global team and help us all as a community, school district, become even more globally prepared and prepare and acknowledge what's going on throughout the world.
Yeah, each of those participants will become a part of the global ECPPS leadership team. And Dr. Parker, just again, there's a little bit of background about this Go Global Leaders. It seems like a wonderful opportunity for our people here in the district.
Absolutely. And I want to thank Katina and her team for organizing our participation in this and bringing our teachers through the application process and selection process. But this is the first year where it's only our second year participating, but this will be the first time we will be sending a team now and also a school principal. And so I want to thank NC Go Global. We were able to join NC Go Global, and I think there's 20 North Carolina districts. There are about 20 districts that are a part of NC Go Global. We became one last year when Tiffany went to the Netherlands, and that was made possible through a donation of $40,000 from Centera. And so Centera gave a donation that allowed us to become a member, and that's the one-time membership fee is $40,000. But once you become a member, then from there on out, you are guaranteed to be able to send one teacher a summer forever to the international trip, and it's covered. Wow. So we wouldn't been able to have joined that without Centera becoming a gracious partner for us. So huge thank you to President Watson and Centera for that. And then this year, through a partnership we have with the Anonymous Trust, the Anonymous Trust gave a very gracious donation of $25,000, which has allowed us then to add these 4 additional educators on top of the NC Global portion, and so we've been able to do that. And one of those is a school principal, Mr. Ron Bell, who will go from Elizabeth City Middle. And we're really excited about this because we want to continue to equip our educators with experiences so then they can come back and infuse those experiences into their classroom lessons. And that's really something that will happen here. All these educators are making a commitment to serve on their school's global committee. Every school has a global committee. They'll design some lessons. They're going to design some experiences where they show what they learned in Botswana. They're going to do some training at our fall conference. We host a conference. It has now become a regional conference. We host it at Northeastern on a teacher work day in October. It's called our Ignite Conference, and these 5 educators are going to do training at the Ignite Conference. And so just really excited they'll be able to bring these experiences back to the district. But huge thank you to Centera and huge thank you to the Anonymous Trust for making this possible. Won't cost these teachers a dime. Wow. And this whole thing is funded through Centera, NC Go Global, and the Anonymous Trust. And we're so thankful for their partnerships.
Yeah, love that. Love hearing that. And again, just a great experience for us to have here in the district. Superintendent Superintendent Parker, you talked a little bit during your portion, the report that you give during the board meeting. You talked a little bit about a 60-day plan of purpose. And this one really kind of, light bulbs flew, and I was like, what is that? I want you to tell the listeners a little bit more about that. It was launched in February, and there's a purpose behind it.
Absolutely. And Dr. Waples has worked quite a bit on this plan with our school principals and our teachers, and can speak to some of the highlights there. But essentially, when we hit the 60-day mark in the school year, meaning there's 60 days left until our students take the end-of-year assessments, then that is a moment for us to recognize that every day ought to be filled with purpose because there's only 60 days left. And so for our high schoolers, we have a 30-day plan of purpose because our high schoolers operate on 2 semesters. And so there's a 30-day mark for them and a 60-day for our middle and elementary students. But what we want to do is recognize, one, that state assessments are not the ending of learning. They don't determine what you're going to do with your life when you leave. You know, they're one snapshot. And so we don't place all of our eggs in one basket. And we don't stake all of our measurement just on those tests. But they're a measurement. And every student in North Carolina public schools take those assessments. And our view is that if some students in Durham, Wake County, Chapel Hill, Union County, which tend to be high performers, if students in those areas can perform at a high level in these tests, our kids can too. And we believe in that. And so what we're saying to our students and our staff is, we have 60 days left. Let every day be filled with purpose. Let everything you do as a student in these days be purposeful to get you ready to demonstrate what you learned this year. And that's the value in being able to show that we're just as good as anybody else in this state. We can perform at the same high levels as everybody else. And that's built into that. So our teachers use a lot of strategies. You know, we really begin to prepare our kids to demonstrate on these tests what they've learned. We build in a lot of remediation. You know, for a elementary and middle school student, it's been a long time since August. So we start to, in the 60-day plan of purpose, we go back and we review some of those learning standards that we maybe have gone back to as much since August or September. So really preparing ourselves to be able to demonstrate that our kids perform, they have the capability to perform like everybody else. Katina, anything you might want to add to the plan?
We're really just making sure that our kids are prepared to practice like they're going to play, right? So we want to make sure that we've had real conversations with them. We're building them up with their self-esteem, their confidence, giving them all the skills they need to get the work done. Mm-hmm. So when we have that EOG day, it's like, guys, this is just confirmation day. You've been doing the work all year. You don't have to get upset. You don't have to get nervous. You already know. Just show the world what you know. This is show the world what you know day. And that's how a lot of times we sell it to our kids.
Well, I love it because I think it just eases them into what's to come, but it gives them a chance to review what they may have lost, as you talked about before, the month prior. So this is a great plan, and it seems like it's paid dividends for our students up to this point. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we've put a very intentional plan in place in the past 4 years of making sure that we've, like Katina said, you know, you play how you practice. And so, you know, we just have to make sure that these are practice days getting us ready for game day. Mm-hmm. And that has helped. That's been one of the things that's led to the increase in student achievement across the district. And so, you know, we have significantly increased the number of C, B, and have our first A school in the district. We're very proud of that. But we also believe that every school in the district can be an A school. Mm-hmm. So while we're proud of the gains we've had, we're not satisfied yet because we know there's more to come, and that's what the plan of purpose is about. And then the last thing I'll say here on this is we are excited about the performance kids are going to have in May and June when they take our state assessments, but we also have built in
some opportunities for students to be able to come back and retest on those assessments if they need to. And so at the end of this school year, we'll be offering retest opportunities in the last 5 and 10 days of the school year for students. We're also going to be offering a summer retest program from June 9th to June 22nd. I'm pulling the dates. I'll confirm that here in just 1 second. But we'll have the retest opportunity for students to come, and for our students in third grade that need some additional practice on their reading assessment, we will be offering our Read to Achieve camp in June this year as well, and that's primarily for third graders, and Katina's been working on that. So a lot of opportunities for our students to be able to show what they've learned, and we're really excited about that. And if students do qualify to go to one of our summer camps in June, then we're going to be sharing that with families as we get into late May, early June, but some opportunities there. Yeah, June 9th through June 19th, really 18th, because we observed Juneteenth on the 19th, but June 9th through the 18th will be our retest camps.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Great opportunities for our kids here in the district. And again, more details on the official website if you want to learn more about what's happening. It's the ECPPS Podcast, and as we continue through the report, there's some special dates that are upcoming, and one that really flashed at me also was the Coast Guard Marathon that's coming up April 9th through the 12th, and ECPPS is going to have a large hand in this. We're talking about staff and students participating, and I'm excited. I'm not much of a runner myself, but I don't mind watching others go after these 1Ks and 5Ks and all of this. So speak a little bit about what is to come at the Coast Guard and how the ECPPS, the district, will be a part of this event.
Absolutely. So we're so excited to be able to partner with the Coast Guard again for the marathon this year. And a couple of things this year is we're just so proud to be able to offer our school activity buses for the Coast Guard to be able to use to shuttle folks throughout the town, Elizabeth City here, and then also to be able to shuttle runners from Virginia that maybe want to come in and run. So really excited about that partnership. And I do want to thank the Coast Guard. I want to thank Commander Koski for the support the Coast Guard gives us. We have students that complete high school students that complete internships at the Aviation Logistics Center, other areas in the Coast Guard. We have a partnership with the Coast Guard where we do awareness and marketing for Coast Guard families that are moving into the area to show some of our programs. And the commander is so gracious to support us on a lot of things. So we're just excited to be able to give back to the marathon with the school buses in particular to be able to help. But I also want to thank the commander for inviting our choirs to come and perform at the Coast Guard dinner, which will be on April the 11th. That'll be housed on the base, and our students will be performing 2 songs, and really excited about that. And then one of our high school students, Northeastern High School student Abel Sutton, will be joining and will be singing the national anthem. And so really excited for this and the opportunity for our students to be able to perform in some of the Coast Guard leadership that will be coming here from across the country. So really excited about that. And we do have some students, I believe Ms. Winslow's group of 4-year-olds in our pre-K program, in addition to some other students, will be running in the 1K. So really excited about that. And then we have some high schoolers and staff that'll be in the 5K, and then I do believe we have some staff in the marathon as well. So really excited to be able to participate in this, and it's coming up, in 2 weeks. So
it'll be here before you know it. Yes,
it will be.
One of the other things that'll be here before you know it is spring break. And I know that's a good time for the students to break away, but it's also a good time for the staff and yourself maybe to get a little bit of a break April 3rd through the 10th. But it is a chance to refresh. And I think spring break, it's not just about going out and having fun. It's really about getting the rest you need to finish off the school year the right way.
That's right. Absolutely. So we just want to invite all of our families and our staff to think about wellness and to just enjoy themselves on this break, go do something. The Christmas break and spring break are the only 2 times in the school year where we are not running school buses or we're not having some of our facilities operate in some form or fashion. Outside of that, the summer, July, you name it, we really don't stop. And so the two opportunities for our staff to really take some, Lord willing, uninterrupted time is during the Christmas break and spring break. So we want to invite everybody to do that and come back refreshed and ready to just to run as fast as you can till May and June when we get back.
Yeah. Some other special dates that are upcoming are the high school graduations that are happening here in the district. The early college is taking place on May 21st over at COA's Performing Arts Center. A little bit of a change in the date from the norm. Talk a little bit about this change and why it was made.
Typically, our early college graduation is on the Saturday of what that week would be, but this year we're moving that to Thursday due to some scheduling conflicts. I want to make sure everybody's able to attend and there's not a conflict with other things in the community. So that'll be the Thursday this year at Performing Arts. And then our two traditional high schools would continue in our tradition of Pasquotanks, I believe on June 6th, and that Friday evening at the Vaughn Center, and then Northeastern that very next morning at the Vaughn Center as well.
Yeah, so the early college will be May 21st, and so we're looking forward to that. It's always a special moment, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that in our next episode of the ECPPS podcast. You also spoke a little bit about the student recruitment aspect. We talked a little bit about the 8th graders and the International Baccalaureate, which is the IB program. If you could flesh that out a little bit, because I know there's a lot of listeners who may be hearing this for the first time, but just explain to the listeners what that program is all about.
Absolutely. So we're really excited that we are now taking applications for both middle schools, Elizabeth City Middle School and River Road Middle School, of students that are interested in continuing in the middle year or pre-IB program, International Baccalaureate program, if they want to do that in high school. So both of our middle schools, Elizabeth City Middle and River Road Middle, have become pre-IB schools. So every student in that school is enrolled in the pre-IB program. When students leave middle school, then they have to choose if they want to continue in the pre-IB track. And so now rising 9th graders, current 8th graders are able to apply to continue in that program. For the ones that do, they operate in their 9th and 10th grade year in a specialized cohort, and they are enrolled in advanced courses. They get specialized opportunities, training, field trips, and then the goal is to prepare students in 9th and 10th that want to go into the International Baccalaureate Diploma program in 11th grade to prepare them with the prep work, the coursework, to get them ready for that 11th grade year. For the students that opt to go into the diploma program in 11th grade year, that's an extremely rigorous college-level program, and students will be able to sit for an IB exam their senior year, and if they sit in that exam and qualify, then they'll graduate from Northeastern or Pasquotank with an internationally recognized high school diploma that's recognized in the countries around the world that IB is certified in. An extremely prestigious program, and aside from Wilson County, there is no other school district that has the International Baccalaureate program in Eastern North Carolina. So we've become the first, and really excited about that. Katina works, with some of that program, and also our middle schools, and also our dual language immersion program, which is in all of our elementary schools, that is preparing kids to go into that. So anything you'd want to add there, Katina, about this, the value of the global curriculum that we've got here?
It's a great opportunity for a student going in, say, kindergarten, that starts off and they're in a dual language immersion program, to be receiving instruction all day long in Spanish. So just imagine that cohort of students starting off in kindergarten, staying together all the way through 5th grade. And when they leave 5th grade, they are truly bilingual. They can read, write, speak in Spanish, and then they enter into the IB program. For me as a parent, what an opportunity for a child. I mean, just think about being globally prepared. I can't think of a better way to prepare a child. Opportunities we didn't have, and now they're right here in our district for our kids, any child, to take full advantage of.
It's the ECPPS Podcast, and Superintendent Parker, I'm going to come back to you about some of the new business, some of the motions that were presented near the end of the board meeting, and one of those was the 4-classroom mobile unit that will be placed at Central Elementary. Talk a little bit about that. It was passed, obviously, but it's to accommodate the enrollment, which seems to be growing.
Absolutely. So we're going to be adding the 4-classroom mobile unit, modular unit at Central, and that is to accommodate the growth that is happening on particularly that side of town and out near the hospital and some of the expansion that's going on. So Central is one of our elementary schools that is experiencing a pretty significant amount of growth and has reached really their capacity as a school. So every available space in the school right now is being utilized for a classroom. We don't have any additional classrooms there in the building. So this 4-classroom modular unit will help us expand what we're anticipating to be some growth next year, but also free up some of the music and art classrooms in the main building that have been converted to core classrooms so we can put the music and art teachers back in their original spaces. So really excited about that. And the broader topic there is we are working with the city and the county and also are working with NC State right now to complete a land use study. That study is underway, and we're hoping to be able to have the results of that study in the next month or two. We're going to have a presentation and share this at a board meeting. I suspect that'll be something that we'd want to talk about in one of the shows following that. But that land use study is going to help us project and predict in the next 3 to 5 years where we may be seeing the most growth in the county based on the new houses that are being built, where people may be moving, and help us be able to think about what that means for some of our schools that may be at capacity like Central. And what do we do to accommodate that? Is that renovation? Is it an expansion? Is it building a new wing on Central as an example? And helping us really come up with a plan. Concurrently with the land use study, we have a facility needs assessment study going on at the same time right now. That study is being completed. We also in the next 2 months hope to be able to share that at a board meeting. But we've had some professional engineers and architects come in and go in every one of our schools top to bottom and give us a full assessment of roof, mechanical, electrical, everything that we need to be thinking about for school upgrades and renovation. And that's going to help us think about what we'll need to do over the next 3 to 5 years and beyond to be able to renovate, improve our schools. And so those are 2 really big studies that are going on right now. But this modular unit is a necessary immediate solution to the fact that we've got a lot of growth going on in that particular part of town. Central can hold about 520 kids. And right now I think they're at about 490. They fluctuated around the 500 mark over the past year. So we've got to get them some more space, and this is going to allow us to do that in the short term.
Yeah. Also, there was a motion to purchase 3 additional activity buses, and I think that's going to help out the district a little bit, also to have a couple more buses to transport the students where they need to go. This motion seems like it's necessary. It was passed, obviously, but there's a need for some more activity buses, and I think this will be great for the district to have.
Absolutely. So really appreciate the board's investment in our transportation fleet. And so just to share with the general public, our yellow school buses, so when the public is driving in Elizabeth City and Pasquotank County, they'll see 2 types of buses. They'll see yellow buses, they'll see the white buses. So the white buses are our activity buses, and they can be used to go anywhere. You could drive one of them to California if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend doing that. It'd take you a long time to get there. They only go 55 miles an hour max. But they can go anywhere. But our yellow buses are primarily provided directly by the state of North Carolina, and they can't leave Pasquotank County by and large, with very few exceptions. And so they are primarily just to transport kids to and from school. But our activity buses, the white ones, they transport kids on trips, you name it, athletic events, extracurriculars. And so we have to purchase the white buses, the activity buses, ourselves. They're not directly funded by the state. And so what we're doing is we're working now to begin to upgrade our fleet. We currently have 8 activity buses in service right now. The lease of these 3 buses that happened at last board meeting, and we purchased outright an activity bus at the previous meeting. So we're going to be getting 4 brand new activity buses, which will basically move us up to 12 buses in the fleet, and then we're going to be cycling the older buses out over the next 5 years so that we've replaced our activity bus fleet. And then that's important because oftentimes, particularly for athletic events, those activity buses are traveling throughout Eastern North Carolina and the state. And we just want to guarantee that, if athletic teams or extracurricular events are coming home at 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, that we've got to, guarantee that they've got a newer bus and they're not going to have mechanical issues, et cetera. So we're excited about that. And we're also upgrading and modernizing our yellow bus fleet. So on any given day, we operate about 56 yellow school buses in the county on every day. We transport a little over 3,000 students on a school bus during the day to and from school. So anywhere from 7 o'clock in the morning till 8:30, 9 o'clock, you're going to see a lot of yellow school buses in Elizabeth City at stoplights, and you're going to see a lot from about 2:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon. So we recognize we kind of take up the highways, and we appreciate the public's patience with us as we navigate traffic in Elizabeth City. But we're replacing those buses as well, and many of those are starting to qualify for reimbursement and trade-in from the state. Nice. We got 4 brand new yellow school buses last year, and we're going to be getting, I believe, 6 this summer. Wow. So over the next 3 to 5 years, our goal is to replace and modernize those 50 plus yellow buses. So that's a big commitment we have, is to make sure we're modernizing our transportation fleet.
So many great things are happening, and it's a beautiful thing. Dr. Waples, again, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. If people want to reach out to you, contact you, give them some contact information so they can ask you some questions.
Yes, sir. So my email is kwaples@ecpps.k12.nc.us. I can be found at our central office location on Halstead. You can give me a call there, leave a message. I will call you back. And I appreciate this opportunity today.
Yeah, you're going to hear from me too. I'm going to call you soon to find out about this dual language, because I need to learn a little bit more about it. So I can't wait to be a part of that.
And we're going to get you in the 50-yard dash at field day
ready.
too. So.
Oh, I'm ready.
Be careful what you ask for.
I can't wait. Tell PW1 and everybody I'm ready. I'm coming for them. Again, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Dr. Parker, we've come near the end of today's show, but I always want to leave you a little bit of time to speak to the listeners, especially if there's some future dates or any initiatives that they need to know about. This will be your time to speak to them now.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Clay, again for having us here. But, we're just proud of the work that everybody's done this school year. And as we look toward the end of the year, our high school graduations are a cornerstone event. We're really excited about those. We're going to have a lot of events posted on our website, and also our schools will be communicating with families. So to all of our families, be on the lookout for that. But particularly for our high schools, our baccalaureate services that are coming for our high school seniors are coming up. We're going to have the field days, which each of our elementary schools will have, and they determine their own days that lead into the county field days. So families be on the lookout for that. We will have our 5th grade and 8th grade promotion ceremonies coming up at the very end of the year. That becomes a big moment for families. Our high school proms are coming up. So really excited about all of these things. And so if any families had a question on anything, they could contact their school directly. Look on the school website. But really excited about the things coming up, and we're so thankful for our families, community partners, our students, and our staff for just the hard work they put in. It does take everybody working together, particularly when you're talking about our young people and people's children. And so no one person can do it together. It does take a village to be able to pour into our young people. And we just have, as Katina was sharing, we have a village, a strong village in Elizabeth City, and we're thankful for them.
Yes, and we are thankful for you, our loyal listeners. And I believe that's a great way to finish off this edition of the ECPPS Podcast. If you missed out on any parts of this episode, or you want to catch up on past episodes, you can go to the WRVS Podcast Network. You can also listen anytime on our YouTube channel. For our host, Superintendent Dr. Parker, and Board Chair Angela Cobb, I'm Clay Mercer. We'll see you next time for the ECPPS Podcast. The ECPPS Podcast is powered by Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools in collaboration with the Elizabeth City State University Department of Radio and Television Services. Recorded and produced at WRVS Studios on the campus of ECSU.